Last class we discussed about roles, right? Anyone have any doubt? It's okay. So first thing, I will just will go a small recap of what we discussed yesterday. Roles are used to control records. Okay, simply you can remember as RR. RR means roles controls records. So first, if you wanted to implement role, first thing is you need to make an object private. Okay. So after making an object private, what you can do is once you make the object as private, only the owners of the record can see it. Only the record owners can see it. Okay. Apart from that, what you can do is there is a checkbox called grant using hierarchy. So this means the owners, manager, okay, can owners manager can see the record. Okay. So this is grant using hierarchy option. Okay. So third one, what we saw about sharing rule. Okay, like you can share based on criteria or owner. So for this means people is not my manager, is the person similar like me in the organization. We both have same role or we may have different role, that doesn't matter. But I wanted to share few records to him so that he can work. In that case, you will go with the sharing rule, which is a criteria based sharing rule. Uh, so you will use this. You can share based on criteria or you can share based on the owner. And the fourth one is we saw about manual sharing. Okay, this manual sharing means you need to go inside the record and you have a button called sharing. If you click on that sharing button, if the object is private, it will show who are all the owners who can view who have access to the record. And if you wanted to share with anyone, you can select and you can share it. Okay, so that is one thing we saw. So apart from these things, we will see about the small topics like queue and group. Okay, there is a concept called queue and there is a concept called group. See, is queue also, what it will have is it will have members or users. So you will add 10 to 5 users and you will name on queue. Okay, and you will give it a name. Similarly, group also what it has members or users. But there is a primary difference between queue and a group. Let me show you. If we go to the, let me open this. If you click on case object and click on the details, you click change owner, you can see queue, but you don't see group here. You see only queue. You can share it to a user or you can share it to a queue. Two things you can do. Okay. Okay. Then let me show you one more thing. Duplicate this tab, and if you go to the sharing setting, security controls, sharing setting. If you go to any one of the sharing rule, we will go to the. I'm clicking on sharing rule. here. So you have group. Here you have group. Here you have user queue. So the primary difference between group and the queue is queue can own a record. Okay, so the owner queue can act as a owner. That is, if I wanted to have multiple users to uh, have own a record, for example, to say, so the queue can own a record. So the group of members, what will happen? So if I am having a if I'm working in a calls BPO where uh, I have a queue support, level 1 support queue, level 2 support queue. Ideally, what happens? The if the owner is this queue, all the member will be notified. There is one case assigned to this particular queue. All the members in the queue will be notified. So in that case, queue will be useful. Okay. So queue is used to own a record. But if you see here, okay. So here the main concept of group is to have a security. See, this is like whenever you come with the security criteria, whenever you go with the security parameters and all, you will see group only. Okay. Whenever you wanted to own a record, whenever you wanted to do those things, you will see queue. That is the primary difference between queue and a group. Okay. So to create a group or create a queue, you simply go to the group. So where because whenever you are going for a sharing, whenever you are going for security kind of things, you will see group. And whenever you are going to own a record, the ownership, at that time you will be seeing the queue. That is the primary difference between group and a queue. Apart from that, all are same. Okay. Now we have only now this is basic class, so the only sharing setting, but there are many ways to share a record, like account team member, like that. There are many ways. Okay, that is specific to Sales Cloud. Like that, specific to cloud also, there are many sharing things. Okay, so in that case and all, you will be using more groups and those things. So I'm just giving um, support group. Okay, so here also you can see grant using hierarchy. If you use this, so this one what is happens is the users in the group will be shared with the higher hierarchy. Okay, if the user in the group, if he is accessing the record, the manager is manager, anyone of the user who is in the group, if he is able to access the record, his manager also will be able to access. That is the grant using hierarchy. So you can search for user or based on role or based on roles and subordinates, anything. Roles and subordinates means the role, for example, manager is a role, subordinate is workers. Okay, so now I am, if you select, you will be getting these things. So roles and subordinate, if I select CEO, then everybody will have access because roles and subordinates. Okay, so I will, if I click role and share the record, only the CEO will be able to see. That is the primary difference between roles and subordinate. If I select role, then only if I add CEO, only CEO can see. If I select roles and subordinates, CEO and people who are below CEO, so the entire organization can see. That is the primary difference between role and subordinate. Okay, so let us have a user, remove it, and I'll be having this. So next, you need not have to worry about these things and all. Just okay, we created a group. Okay, so that is creating a group. Then you can use this group anywhere in sharing setting, any places you can use this. Whenever you come, the concept comes with sharing. Sharing is like giving access. Sharing is not owning a record. Owner is different, sharing is different. Okay, so whenever you are going for a concept of sharing security at that time and all, you will be having groups. Whenever you wanted to own, you will be having queue. Okay, now we will see how to create a queue. So queue. Okay, here see label of the queue, team A. Like that I'm creating one queue. Okay, so to which objects and all this queue needs to be used. Okay, what are all the objects this queue needs to be used? So that one you need to select. Okay, so for example, if I am selecting for case object, okay, let us say I'm going to use this queue for only for case object. So if I wanted to use this queue for any other object, I need to select those object. Okay, if I wanted to use for HR, I need to select the HR object so that it will be accessible by the HR objects records. Okay, so I need to give here. So right now I am selecting case object. Okay, and the queue member, so I will be selecting both the person and I will be clicking on next. Okay, and then I'll click on save. Okay, so right now if you see, we created one queue and we created one group. Okay, so here also you see there are members, here also you see there are members. Okay, that is the similarity it has, but the primary difference is this is used for sharing and owning a record, and queue is sharing and security group. Queue is to own a record. Okay, so that's all. So the concept of role is over. So this is very important topic. So please practice more on this. Okay.
Then,
Yes, please.
so for example, we'll have when we assign some ticket or raising a request to a specific group. Like when we are in IT, we used to raise a request for administration, sorry, uh, like IDM team and all, like installation team for hardware or software
Okay.
installation. In the case when we raise a request, initially it will assign to any one of the user, and if you see the escalation matrix, first level of it's pending with level 1, it's pending with level 2 kind of thing, right? So in this case, so it will assign to a first level of group, right? So
No,
later
not a
on,
group.
based on
Not a group. Queue. Okay.
queue.
You see, if you wanted to understand better, like front end people are there, no, like front end people are normal users. I'm not, I'm right now I am a Salesforce administrator and I am a developer. I am building an application for a company where the employees will work on the application. They will use this Salesforce as a tool, okay, to record the customer data. In that case, right now on in a BPO there is a call coming and they are creating a new case. Once the case is created, they wanted to assign to the owner. Okay, so let me create a case. I'm creating a case. So, and subject is test case, like that. Okay, test. So click on save. Once you click on save, here there is a case owner. So what happens is, if I wanted to assign the case, then I can see only the queue, that is owner. Whenever the concept of ownership comes, you will see only the queue. Whenever the concept of sharing, whenever the concept of security and all comes, you will see only the group. Okay, so that is very important thing that you should know. In interview also they will be asking. Okay, so the team A queue that we selected uh, came here. Okay, any doubts? Is that answered your question? Or
Yeah, yes.
so if you directly wanted to assign it to a queue, whenever it is coming, the case is coming, you wanted to directly assign it to a queue, you need to write a logic, you need to write a rule. Okay, that and all we will see in upcoming sessions. Okay, so now we are clear with the roles. Okay. Now we will start the point and click tools. Right now we have seen about the security, we have seen about the basics. Now we will see about the point and click tools. Okay. What is mean by point and click tools? Or they will be calling it as declarative development. So this is a familiar word, declarative development, point and click tool. Declarative development means I wanted to develop something, I wanted to do something, but without touching any code. Like I wanted to use it like any tools or anything, or I like saw small kind of admin things. I wanted to develop something. I wanted to achieve some logic without touching any code. That is called declarative development, and Salesforce provides many point and click tools. Okay, these point and click tools are used to achieve our logic without touching the code. Okay, so what are other tools? Workflow, approval process, process builder. Okay, these are main important things, and we have one more thing called the flow, but we will not see that in this session. Okay, only we will see about workflow, approval process, and process builder. Okay, and apart from that, we have something called assignment rule, auto response rule. Okay, so and apart from that, we have duplicate rule, escalation rule, many things we have, but all are same. Only the functionality and the working style will be different. But creating assignment rule is similar to creating auto response rule, but the place where it fits and the working style is different. That is the primary difference. Functionality, everything is same. Okay, so workflow, approval process, process builder, these are used to achieve certain logics without touching the code. That is called point and click tool. Workflow means whenever a DML operation occurs in an object, a DML operation is nothing but insert, update, delete. Okay, insert, update, and delete. But this point and click tool are not capable of performing delete operation kind of things. So whenever a DML operation like insert or update. Okay, so whenever a record is inserted or whenever a record is updated in an object, okay, some actions should be carried automatically. So what are all the actions? The actions, like by default Salesforce provides 4 actions: new task, email alert, field update, okay, and outbound message. These are all the 4 actions available in workflow rule. So whenever a DML operation means insert, update, delete, or the primary DML operations. Okay, whenever, but these tools are not capable of performing on delete operation. So whenever there is a insert or whenever there is a update occurs in an object, okay, that object can be any object. You wanted to achieve some actions, these actions you wanted to achieve. In that case, what you will do, you can create a workflow rule in that object. So the workflow rule, based on the workflow rule, if you wanted to send an email, for example, I have a custom object, like I have a ticket object. We'll go for our ticket object itself. So Tata Trust. Whenever a record is inserted in the ticket object, whenever a record is inserted in the ticket object, there should be an email sent to the people. Okay, sent to the email address. We'll create one new field called email address here. There should be an email sent to the email, the specific email address. So you wanted to achieve it without touching your code. I don't want to touch my code, but I wanted to get this functionality. In that case, you will go with the point and click tools. First, you should know what are all the things possible in point and click tools so that you will use it properly. And what are the things not possible in point and click tools also you need to know. Okay. Only this 4 action is carried out in the point and click tools. Like or in workflow rule, only this 4 action and insert and update, not for delete. Okay. If I show you, you will understand better. So you can go to develop and where is that workflow rule? I think it is create, yeah, workflow and approvals. Okay, click on the workflow rule. See, these are all the 4 actions: email alert, field update, outbound message, task. These are all the 4 actions done, can be done by using the workflow. These 4 process you need not have to touch the code and you can do it easily. So I will be telling you how to do it. So click on continue. So first thing is, you wanted to create a workflow rule, you need to know few things. What is my object? Okay, what is my object? First thing that you need to know. Workflow, you need to know what is the object. If anyone asking you to create a workflow, you need to know, you need to ask them what is the object and what is the criteria, condition. Under what condition this should execute. Okay, and what is the action you need to perform. These 3 things are important to create a workflow. Okay, first we know the requirement is in a ticket object. Whenever a new ticket is created, first you will create a field here. So I'm creating a new field that is called email. Okay, so the field name is, the data type is email. Okay, so click on next and email. Okay, and what you can do is, if you want you can make it as a required, no problem. So I will make it as a required. Next, and since we have made as required, it will be available compulsory in all the layout. Okay, you cannot have control it here. So click on save. Why? Because I made it as a required. In the database level, I have made it as required. So it will be visible in all the layouts. Okay, we cannot modify, we cannot remove that from the layout. Now refresh. Whenever a user creates a record and he gives the email address and he clicks on save, there should be an email sent to that particular user. Okay, so go to our workflow rule. Okay, where is that? Okay, here it is. So click on new rule. So first thing I said, right, what is the object? So first you need to select this object. So here I am selecting ticket object. Next, and then what is the rule name of the rule? Okay, email alert, email notification. We'll have email notification. Email notification tickets. Okay, so it is asking, there are 3 conditions. See, this is called evaluation criteria. See, in interview and all, without these questions there won't be any interview. Okay, So first thing you need to know is the DML operation. Insert. Insert means created. See, insert means created. Okay, that is insert. And update means what? Already it is created. You wanted to make some changes, modify. So that is called as created, and every time it is edited. Every time it is edited means update operation. So every time it is edited and it subsequently meet criteria. Subsequently meet criteria means I will give some criteria here. Whenever this criteria is met, even though you are doing the update operation, but this criteria should meet. At that time only the action should be carried out. These are all the three conditions, the three criteria you have. Okay. One is created. Created is nothing but inserting a record, creating a new record. Created, and every time it is edited. Every time it is edited means it is an update operation. Okay. And every time it is edited to subsequently meet the criteria. Subsequently meet criteria means below I will give some criteria. Only if that criteria is met, I wanted to send an email. For example, I will tell you, see, in the ticket object, okay, let me create one more field here, then you will understand better. Okay, new custom field. So that field will be a pick list field. Now status. Okay, enter a value, open, close. So in progress. I have three fields, three value in the. I am going to create a field. That field will be having three values. Okay, I'm making this also required. Okay, use first value as a default value. That means always open will be default. Whenever the case is created, it will be created with the status open. Okay, so next and save. Go to the ticket, refresh. Okay, so now what happens? There is a status that is open whenever by default when I create a record. When I create a record, provide the email address. First, what should happen is there should be an email sent. The new ticket has been created, and this is your ticket number. Okay, that is you will achieve it through create. Okay, why? Because if you give this option, and if you give that email, what happens? Every time a new email is created, new ticket is created. This is the ticket number, like that it will come, and the customer will edit it. Okay, so notification, new email notification, you will use this created criteria and you will do it. So created, and every time it is edited. When you will use this one? When you will use this one means I have the ticket object here, some description or some comments are there. So once the representatives, my support agents are working on the ticket, they are updating their comments. Okay, so they are putting some comments. In that case, the customer should be notified. Okay, so how it will happen? Whenever it is edited, whenever any update occurs, the customer should be notified. So if the agent working on this case, working on this ticket, doing some action, that should be notified to the customer. At that time, what you will do? You will use this condition. So third condition, when you will use created, and every time it is edited, every time it meets the criteria. So that means this ticket, you have two email. One is to send when the ticket is closed, and the status is sent to closed, and then if the person is saving the record, at that time you wanted to send your ticket has been closed by this agent. Okay, if you have any queries further, please contact us again, like that you wanted to send an email. In that case, what you will do? You will go with the third criteria. You will go with the third criteria. Anytime it is edited also, subsequently meet the criteria. What criteria? Whenever the status is set to closed only, you wanted to send the close email. Okay, clear the primary difference between these three criteria? Any doubts?
No, still.
Clear, right? Okay. So we'll first create this, use this created, and what I will do, I will put email. On criteria, I will give email not equals to. If I leave blank, then it is null. Email should not be empty. Whenever the record is created, the email should not be empty at that time. Save and next. I gave the criteria, I gave the name, I selected for which object. Okay. So now my two things are over. Object is over, my criteria is over. Now I wanted to choose action. Okay. So here add an action. So there are 4 actions that we have. So we will select new email alert. New email alert. Description is welcome email. Okay. Ticket created notification. Okay. Object is ticket object. I will tell you how to create an email template also. Actually, before that, I need to be taking that, but I forgot. Okay. So I'm just saying support. These are all templates. I will tell you how to create. I'm just selecting one, and recipient. I will be sending to these people. Okay. If I wanted to send the ticket owner, ticket email field, in the ticket, I will give one email. No, if I wanted to use that, then I will put the email field. Okay. Then I will add that also. Okay. So what happens? The email, whichever email I'm using in for creating a ticket, that email also will receive an email address. For example, okay, let us remove these two. So email field, I'm selecting the email field, and I can use these options. I can use. I will use the email field, and additionally, you can add 5 people email address, extra email address. So another 5 people also will be notified. Okay. So save. My action is ready. My object is ready. My criteria is ready. Okay. You need to activate it. See, if it is not active, it will not work. Click on active. Okay. Once it is active, then what you do is you go here, new ticket. So complaint ticket, and you will be having defect product not working properly, fridge issue. Okay. So anyone can tell your email address. I'll use that.
Gordon.
Yours is a long name, man. You tell me one short name.
Short name, no, sir. GVR.
Sorry.
GVR 4787 at the rate gmail.com.
GVR
87.
87 at gmail.com.
Yeah.
Gmail.com. Okay, that is good. So click on save. Once you click on save, what would have happened is that workflow would have be triggered, and Govardhan, you would have received an email. Okay.
1 second.
Where is that?
Anand Kumar Nataraj.
Yeah,
I got it.
you got an email, right? So this is the
Yeah.
workflow rule, basic. So I explained you basic of workflow rule. Tomorrow we will see in detail. Okay. Okay. Okay, guys. See you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, thank you, Sujan.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.